So how the idea came to getting into the drone logistics or aerial drones? How did you start it and how you got into the entrepreneurship?
Myself have traveled to Himalayan terrains in the high altitudes areas number of times. One time we were completely stuck for months. There is no way of getting things there. That was the first time I felt the need of a robust supply chain, and the supply chain, I must tell you, was completely broken. So that is when the idea actually started. With my co-founders, we have really built something. By 2022 we had a model which we could demonstrate at 6,000 feet.
Logistics is a billions-dollar industry in India and beyond India. So where do this drone logistics fit in from your vision?
When we look at drone logistics, the first phase is where the defense is platforms, and this is happening at an accelerated phase right now. Immediate next phase, I see that it is a medical. Third phase is going to the industrial revolution. And then I see the last phase towards the e-commerce. I believe that this is going to revolutionize the industry.
How this drone-centric network of logistics we can see in the future? नमस्कार दोस्तों, लॉजिस्टिक्स शक्ति के पॉडकास्ट चैनल में एक बार फिर से आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। जैसा हमारा आपको प्रॉमिस है, कमिटमेंट है, वादा है कि हम लॉजिस्टिक्स इंडस्ट्री और उससे जुड़ी हुई तमाम उन हस्तियों को आपके सामने लेके आते हैं जिन्होंने लॉजिस्टिक्स में और उससे जुड़े हुए सप्लाई चेन फंक्शन में कोई बड़ा कारनामा या बड़ा नाम कमाया है, स्ट्रगल की है और कामयाबी हासिल करी है। और उनकी कामयाबी और उनकी स्ट्रगल से और उनकी स्टोरी से हम और आप मिलके कुछ सीख पाएं और उस सीख को हम अपने करियर में, हम अपने लाइफ में इम्प्लीमेंट कर पाएं और हम भी कामयाब बन पाएं। तो जैसे आप जानते हो, लॉजिस्टिक्स शक्ति का एंटायर फोकस है लॉजिस्टिक्स एंड सप्लाई चेन फंक्शन के ऊपर, जहां पे हम वर्कफोर्स से रिलेटेड और सप्लाई चेन फंक्शन से रिलेटेड कंटेंट्स आपके सामने लेके आते हैं। और जैसा आप समझ सकते हो कि लॉजिस्टिक्स मतलब एक जगह से दूसरी जगह सामान को लेके जाना। ये 4 तरीके से होता है। हम कोई भी सामान ट्रक से ट्रांसपोर्टेशन के थ्रू एक जगह से दूसरी जगह पहुंचाते हैं। वही सामान हम शिपिंग के जरिए जहाज के जरिए एक देश से दूसरे देश की तरफ लेके जाते हैं, इंपोर्ट करते हैं, एक्सपोर्ट करते हैं। वही सामान हमारे देश के अंदर, कंट्री के अंदर ट्रेन के मूवमेंट से जाता है, एक लोकेशन से दूसरी लोकेशन जो रेलवे है उसके जरिए जाता है। और चौथा एक है एयरलाइंस के थ्रू, इंडिया में और इंडिया के बाहर इंपोर्ट एंड एक्सपोर्ट एंड डोमेस्टिक ट्रैवल ऑफ द गुड्स हैपन थ्रू एयर कार्गो एज वेल। एंड विद इन दिस एयर कार्गो, आज जो हम आपको नई चीज तो एब्सोल्युटली नहीं है, लेकिन इसके बारे में बहुत कुछ नया आप जानेंगे, वो है ड्रोन। कि जैसे आज हम एयर इंडिया या इंडिगो के थ्रू अपने सामान को यहां से वहां भेज पाते हैं, या विदेशों में फेडेक्स बहुत बड़ा काम करते हैं अपने एयरलाइंस के थ्रू, कैसे ही विद इन सिटी और बियॉन्ड सिटी और टफ टेरेंस में ड्रोन लॉजिस्टिक्स अपने आप में एक बहुत बड़ा लॉजिस्टिक्स स्पेस खड़ा हो रहा है। तो आज हम इसको जानेंगे, समझेंगे कि ये जो एयर के कार्गो के जैसे ड्रोन के थ्रू हमारा कार्गो या हमारे जरूरी सामान या जरूरी सिचुएशन ऐसी आएगी जहां पे ड्रोन का यूज होगा एज ए ड्रोन लॉजिस्टिक्स, वो हम आज समझने वाले हैं। तो हमारे बीच में आज हैं मिस्टर सत्यव्रत। ही इज अ फाउंडर एंड CEO ऑफ BonV Aero टेक्नोलॉजी प्राइवेट लिमिटेड। He is based out of Bhuvneshwar, building a very, very large organization as a manufacturing and the technology of drone logistics. So, going beyond further delaying between you and me, let me introduce Mr. Satya with you. Thank you, Satya, for making this possible for Logistics Shakti Podcast. Yes.
Thank you so much, Mr. Amit. I am very delighted to be part of this Logistics Shakti Podcast, and thank you so much for inviting me here.
Thank you. So Satya, just give us a little background from little journey of, in a very quick words, how did you started and how you got into the entrepreneurship?
Right. So I was always curious on uh, aerospace machines, and I from my like childhood I was definitely in general very passionate on electronics and computers. So used to tinker and do a lot of like work. So that is where I picked up my like studies in the areas of electronics and then in computer science. But also started during my early part of the college life.
Hmm.
I got an exposure to drones through one of my friend, and I was like in Chennai, and there we used to go and fly with a actor. He's Thala Ajit, the South actor, and he has his own runway. He had a big passion towards RC flying jets, and me and my friend used to like go and help him, and also started like building recreational models or kind of hobby, flying. That is how my curiosity towards flying
Started.
started. And from there, because I always could understand like electronics and softwares, I started writing flight control softwares.
Mhm.
And that is something that was coming out that was something very newly getting developed. I'm talking about 2006 to 2010 time frame, when all that was just coming out very new. The even the first lines of codes were getting written. I got hands on. I wrote by 2015 I had my own autopilot system. It was a 40 millimeter by 40 millimeter autopilot system. Of course, I was part of like an organization. We built that. We have implemented many of them in the defense drones, and these are all operational right now. So the journey began with these are small steps of getting into the components, and building these components which enables today's world of, we say, unmanned aerial systems or drones.
So how the idea came to getting into the drone, drone logistics
Right.
or aerial drones,
Right.
right? Rather getting into the conventional UAV one.
Before getting into like aerial logistics, I was working in the surveillance drone ones, and almost 7-8 years I have like worked, where I myself have traveled to Himalayan terrains in the high altitudes areas number of times. And it was time around 2018 to 20 when frequent travels were happening. And one time we were completely stuck for months in Himalayas because of the kind of the landslides that happened, and
And which
that
place it was?
it was in the lower part of like Siachen,
Okay.
okay, and Khardung land like above, where I with staying there for like months, really felt that was the first time like I felt the need of a robust like supply chain. And the
Mm.
supply chain, I must tell you, was completely like broken. There is no way of getting things there. Generally army does a lot of winter stocking, so they know that these are the adversaries which comes without like telling. And once these kind of adversaries comes, it is for months. We have, you must know that we have now the Georgilla tunnel, but that
I've
time
been
the
there. Yeah.
the Georgilla was not there, tunnel was not there. And that particular route you is not functional for a couple of like months. But then that is the main supply chain. That's the main supply line for the entire Ladakh. I'm not talking about like one part of the Himalaya, but this is the entire Ladakh
Yeah.
is depending on that supply chain. So here where I was stuck at a very way forward like post of Tibet, there we could not get anything other than what was like stored, and it was very difficult for me to. It was matter of like
So idea came
survival.
there.
Idea came there to really build, but the challenges were also many.
Correct.
Because like you can't, if I do a 500-gram transport, a 1 kg transport, nobody is interested. How much can I actually do? So the idea came with I interacted with people, understood that its minimum has to be 50 kg, and 50 kg in 2020 2021 was completely new,
Absolutely out of the box.
out of the box. There's no one even in the world
Thought
that I
of.
could see that are doing any kind of high altitude like logistics, and they could do it with like a 50 kg, because essentially if you're going to carry like 50 kg, your machine weight is going to be almost 150 200 like kilos, and that through any kind of, there in high altitudes you can't use like engine efficiency of that is already low, because our Chetak, the helicopter that operates, take almost 20-25 kgs after the pilots and after the co-pilots. So this was then and such complexities and everything. I was actually thinking at a time that should I start like a helicopter like company where
Correct.
we get into that level of like manufacturing, which requires massive
This is
amount of
also a
capital.
mini version of helicopter itself.
Yeah. So that is when the idea actually
Came.
started. Idea came, and then we had with my co-founders, we have really built something. By 2022 we had a model which we could demonstrate at 6,000 feet in the Arunachal Pradesh, and we demonstrated it to the army. This was the first time army general saying that Satya, this is a model that
We are
I have
looking
like
for.
I've been looking for, I have never seen, but probably this model is something that you have actually imported, or it is not made in India. I couldn't
They
see
couldn't
like
believe it.
they couldn't believe it. Of course he was completely surprised
Fantastic.
with that fact. But then the journey began with the high altitude journey. We went to 10,000 feet, we went to 15,000, we went to like 18,000. So 2024 is when we broke the world record of flying like a bird with a 30 kg load at 19,000 feet in the Umlingla.
So, I mean, from a founder's perspective, founder's vision perspective, this is the idea came when you got into, stuck into the terrain of Himalaya, Leh Ladakh.
Right.
And then you thought of, the high altitude, 50 kg plus kind of a payload carrying in drone, you want to make it. Looking at your vision point of view, how do you want to fit? Logistics is a, billions-dollar industry
Right.
in India and the beyond India. So where do this drone logistics fit in from your vision perspective?
Right. So if you look at, this is the fact, right, that the logistics are almost 3% of our like GDP. And when we look at like drone logistics, I see that it is going to the adoption of drone logistics are going to take place in a very graded like manner,
Phased manner.
in a phased manner. The first phase is where the defense is adopting these platforms, and this is happening at an accelerated phase right now.
Yeah, super
because
fast.
the current like situation, they really want all these the posts which are beyond 18-20,000 feet, which are impossible to operate in the winters, in the peak winters. Today our defense, our army is physically present on those posts with all modern equipments, carrying, right, with all kind of technology that are available. With that, the tech is actually empowering our like
so
armed forces to
initial
be there.
phase, you look at drone logistics is supporting the defense. Right.
And I see that it
and
is
then phase 2, 3, what
right.
do you visualize?
In the immediate next phase, I see that it is a medical.
Okay.
Because the medicines,
critical logistics,
all the life saving medicines, all
blood samples collecting and high terrain areas,
right,
difficult to reach,
right.
Drone is going to be helpful.
See, I'll tell you, certain parts of Mizoram, certain parts of even Odisha, of Koraput or so, where network is not even there today, and people have having different kind of like typhoids and other these are diseases which are for years like happening. Collection of blood samples, and these are taken right now through drone technologies. So I believe that the phase 2 is already like you have started, right? The third phase is going to the industrial revolution. Clearly the industries, say for example today a industry like a I want to give you an example of one airport, where this is like a defense airport, and where 70% of the airport is you know is operated by the Navy, and 30% is by the civil. And there, the warehouse and the aircraft hangar is just 4.5 kilometer away. But it takes for them 4 to 6 hours for any kind of emergency spare part to get to like the aircraft. And if the fighter aircraft is not ready, and only that part from the warehouse
Correct.
takes 6 hours, imagine the amount of time delay that is like incurred
Yeah.
there. And it is just one boundary line like away, but it's just that the road infra and
Yes.
the entire paperwork, everything.
That is going to be real use for the
Real use.
industry. Yes.
I believe that this is going to revolutionize the industries, the oil and gas, the entire like the logistic industries, lot of auto industries. Uh, all these are going to immensely like benefit out of the technology which is coming, particularly the logistic like drones. And it is perfectly like suited for 40-50 kilometers of sortie, like doing a crow fly from warehouse to fulfillment centers, between warehouses, and you
Just
can,
in time kind of a requirement.
exactly,
So that can help.
just in time and last mile
Connectivity.
connectivities.
Last mile supplying the
Right.
Okay.
And then I see the last phase towards the e-commerce. Definitely e-commerce have actually shown right now like a lot of we could see in Delhi also, in
A
Gurgaon
lot of
also.
sample is
Right.
going on, and
Right.
as of now it seems to be a little fascinating,
Right.
but it is going to be reality.
Right. Because I see that the regulation, that is where the
We'll come on those points as
Right.
well. Now, looking beyond your vision, I have somewhere read that people can fly from their terrace itself.
Oh yeah.
So when we can see that reality
Right.
coming true?
I used to say that instead of people going on the road, walking down to the road and taking a cab, they can take a lift, go to their terrace, and can fly like from their terrace. Just a click of a button, a drone can take off and can actually commute them to the next urban center. And this is truly, I see that another 10 years down the line, we should definitely be able to see air taxis around the kind of airport infrastructure that I see in every district in India. See, as a country, we have got also like the government has got the mission of our civil aviation the civil aviation department has started building airports in every district. That means we are going to have airspace, we are going to have airspace regulations each and every place. Once that level of and this is happening, it is in another 2 years down the line, 3 years, we will see all that is there. It's a matter of now this technology like coming in, and I see it's very much happening in a decade about like time.
Right. So we are saying that drone logistics is a reality.
Yeah.
Adaptation is going to be in a phased manner.
Right.
Initially from defense, then critical medical or health equipment,
Right.
or maybe the critical logistics of a medical
Right.
requirement, and then it is going to be the industry for
Industries.
supplying the just-in-time kind of a component.
Right.
And then you mentioned about e-commerce.
Right.
They are going to adopt in a big way.
Right.
So how this is going to this phased will take time? I mean, in terms of the timeline, if you can just
So I see right now, as in the defense is the one who is accelerating this entire journey now, and in the another 2 or 3 years timeline, you will see that in the next 3 years there will be huge adoption of this technology in critical sectors and the emergency needs. And it also, I want to mention that it is also a very well in disaster sectors. This is the adoptions are going to happen. May it take another 3 to again go towards like a 5 years, you will see a full scale like adoption. And then industry adoption will all happen in another 3 years onwards like timeline. A lot of pilots are started to happen. I am also seeing companies like DHL and FedEx are actually carrying out logistics. In the US, there is Amazon doing even deliveries. So all that slowly, it's beyond 5 years journey.
got it. But it is massively in a fast pace is changing.
Yeah. changing very rapidly because of the technology, the exponential growth of the technology as well.
Got
See,
it.
this technology, which I was telling you, it was just 12, 13 years back, mm, almost in 2012 or so, we used to not have a proper set of code library to have a flight control like system. And this is, I'm talking about the like drone flight control systems. Today we have this stack fully matured, developed, and we have sensors, very different kind of like sensors.
And this is entirely, completely owned and
Indigenous,
Beautiful.
completely indigenous. Lot of thing is in-house. That is because we as a manufacturer, we do a lot of in-house development, and the manufacturing is all like in-house in Bhuvneshwar.
So since we are talking technology and the innovation, particularly on your drone as a product, so what are the safety norms and the navigation and the payload? In case,
Right.
in any case, we are talking about a 50 kg plus. So we'll come down to unit economy, maybe if possible, time
Right.
permits. But on a safety and the navigation things, can you just highlight a little bit?
See, safety is in aviation always. Safety is non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable, primary,
It is always like paramount.
correct.
Safety is something that your a system, basically as a platform, as a drone, it need to have certain levels of safety, airspace like safety, crew safety, the safety of the whole operation. These all are completely non-negotiable. And we have built the drone related, say, even in 2015 to 17, we are the first one to build a safety system which will communicate automatically with the DGCA before its every successful flight operation. And after a successful flight operation, the entire log of what it actually has done, that will be also uploaded to the government. It will be communicated to the government through a platform called Digital Sky.
So absolutely transparent.
Absolutely transparent. And the signatures and everything, drone will have its own signature. And all that is how we use our digital signature like a token and then do the signing. This is where like here it will also do, the drone itself will have its own digital ID. It will sign every data that is transmitted is signed, and every data which is actually generated out of drone, this cannot be tampered as well. It is in the chip, it is a particular secure boot system where these informations are like stored. So nobody can tamper it,
Play around it.
And there is full transparency, 100% transparency that is there. If you have gone to a place and this is and there also we have like geofencing. You have today, if you like look at our like sky is divided into 3 zones:
Yeah.
the red zones, the yellow zones, and the green zones. Generally, like for a layman like understanding, all the airports comes under red zones.
Got it.
And like this, there are so many other like red zones, particularly a parliament building, any temple, all these are like red zones, right? From the airport, 10 kilometer, beyond is 5 to 10 kilometer is yellow zones. Beyond like 10 kilometer, it is green zones. This is like, I'm just giving you a nomenclature that is forward. Sometimes, these numbers also vary, but in our land borders, where our land, 15 kilometer is all like red zones. So these are certain, regulations which drone even really understands. So it does not like take off.
Acha.
Yes, it does not.
That technology is inbuilt about understanding this particular, nomenclature and timings and the distance and everything.
Right. So
Fantastic.
These are, I'm telling you, drone is not today a dumb hardware machine.
Yeah.
It is a smart
AI enabled machine.
Yes, it's a very smart AI autonomous like machine.
Correct.
So now you imagine the kind of, when we do like our operations in the border areas, we land in bunkers. We land and it's roof of the, very small, 10 feet by 10 feet, 15 feet by 15 feet, very small areas. Most of the time it is not a prepared landing area.
Got it.
It is technology with the safety. Always, safety is the first thing that is
Most important.
taken. Yeah.
So the drone logistics, it reminds my mind. So it's a defense, disaster, and strategic logistics
Right.
as of now.
Right.
How important and this is for our national security, and how are we placed, India, because in the warlike situation going on in the current scenario when we are recording this particular podcast session. So how are we placed in terms of the drone technology and drone manufacturing, or drone operations, or little expanding my question further, the kind of a drone for a layman, it is just drone means drones,
Right.
but drones also have various categories.
Right.
So give us a little more idea.
There are like numerous category of drones.
Yeah.
Of course, when you look at like drone is doing surveillance, it is taking pictures and videos, and like doing the surveillance of a particular area, to survey and our constructions and roads and infrastructure, everything that is coming of the railway lines.
Yeah.
And so today not done through, no more done through like helicopters.
Correct.
There's no helicopter flying and doing actually that survey. It is the drones which are doing. From there to logistics and the drones, particularly defense applications of tactical like use. So all these different kinds of drone, we see a huge security threat. Definitely, as a country, we are the national security concern is the data, the security of the data, and security of data going to out of the country. So it is drone is capturing a lot of information, and there are the communication equipment. So what the defense has adapted certain frameworks, which is also in the US, it is called as the blue label or blue US like framework. And India has come up with same kind of a strategy called listing, white listing, and listing of certain like equipment, which they allow like to use, particularly because our today largely the drones assembly we are very good in India. So as to say like manufacturing and the assembly, we are definitely there. When we come to all the component subsystems and those level of getting all of these like parts, there is a lot of dependency that are there outside India. I think India is definitely, with the kind of incentives, the initiatives that are taken at the central level, it is every department has taken, you name a department, they have taken some initiatives towards like drones.
Right.
For example, our even tax today for drones have gone to like 5% of GSTs, from 18 to 5, and certain places it is 0 also. From
for purchase of drone,
those like
department drones, or maybe the industry.
Even the now it has extended with the PLI schemes of the manufacturing facilities. The incentives are given. Okay. On top, all the plant and machineries that are as a OEM, when you set up, each of the states are giving a lot of incentives on the manufacturing setup that you are doing. And on top, there is further schemes of Department of Science and Technology, which is enabling you for the research work also, research and development. So there is a lot of initiatives by the government which is really helping this industry to grow and really build these technologies in-house. When I say in-house in India, right? So it is definitely definitely at the accelerated phase, I must tell this.
And then kind of a drones are being operated for different work. So like for a lot of the Ukraine is using, and this Iran is using, a lot of buzz is there on this.
Right.
People want to understand what kind of these drones are there, and of course what we are building and you are building. Right. This is a supply chain side of it.
So what like we are building is it is to make sure that our supply chain remains robust and resilient. Today in the attack side, the drones are swarms. These are one computer, you just need a computer, and then 1,000 drone can take off from one computer.
One place.
Click
itself.
of a button.
Yeah.
All of them can communicate within themselves, coordinate an action, and can go and do and perform and strike, perform an attack. Interestingly, the
Amazing.
counter UAS, which is the counter drone system, they are also coming up, at accelerated phase.
So defense side.
Defense side.
Okay.
Where because these kind of drones, the swarm of them, they can overwhelm any kind of a radar, any kind of a anti-drone like a missile system. So conventional technologies are like failing.
Correct.
You need to counter them with again the
similar kind of defense.
Defense mechanism, where there are offensive like drones which are meant targeted to actually go and counter a swarm of drones and can precisely like target devices.
So there is a offense side, the kamikaze.
Right.
What is this kamikaze?
Kamikazes are all attack drones or offensive drones.
Okay.
Then defensive side.
Defensive
the
side.
drones on the defensive side, which are called as counter UAS, they are also developing at a very exponential rate.
So let's come to the next level. How the regulatory norms,
right,
and the infrastructure side. You mentioned a little bit about that. How government is supporting the infrastructure. How the vertiports are planned. So how the future look like, and the kind of expectation you have from a different state governments and the central government.
Right. So I'll tell you, like the state government of Odisha has given us a complete airport for 15 years and given us for like a 15 years to do all kind of drone testings. We are going to set up a world-class like infra, part of the low altitude like economy. Again, I'll tell you, like low altitude economy is it's a term which is used by the US and Chinese. They're saying that 300 feet to almost like 1,000 feet, that is a airspace which is completely like underutilized or unutilized. They're going to map, they're going to plan and use it at the fullest, because this is where our regular aircrafts do not operate, choppers do not operate. Now them actually operate in this airspace, and it is very inspired by our like natural species. Like you look at birds, you could see 100 number of birds as a flock can actually go together. They never crash.
Yeah.
Beautifully they fly. So it is exactly what our this technology is going to enable. So many number of like operations very seamlessly. And believe me,
what exactly the universe science behind it? Multiple. I mean, this is a very basic, very simple common sense.
Right.
We hardly realize how
but
they
we
are.
See it every day.
Every day.
Every morning when I like wake up, I live in a place. I see a lot of birds actually cross, and there are a good number.
They never do the accident.
Yeah, they never accident that happens. So it is actually the technology which we can. So birds have got their own like sensors.
Universally guided.
Right. So exactly here, we are taking lot of baby steps getting there. But definitely these are something that is truly happening.
So how this business model of drone logistics going to look like? For example, is it going to be drone as a service?
Right.
Or are we going to lease, as a vehicle we do in logistics, leasing the, asset?
Right.
Or we are operating a complete integrated platform of logistics.
Right. So it's going to be very hybrid. I must tell you this, that how our aircraft industry, so aviation and aircraft industry work, particularly here, the manufacturer, and there are leasing companies do a lot of wet leasing, and then there are airlines who operates, right? And then there are a lot of like intermediary industries. But here I see there is a very different model, coming up. Here they are going to be drone as a service, are going to take a huge, leap ahead. Leapfrog would say that the journey, the accelerated journey of adoption of like drones, and this industry is going to grow at a very exponential like rate. Drone as a service in the like future, once the established drone OEMs start manufacturing and like feeding them. So the service providers are going to really depend on the supply chains of the drone manufacturers to have very the established drone manufacturing to happen, and then that will enable a lot of different services to like come up. For example, chili harvesting happens in Mijorams, and
Yeah.
it's a like a hilly area where the chili harvesting happens in a particular season, and it's a perishable good. It's within a particular time frame. Industries will come and do all the transportation within that season, 2-3 months. Similarly, here there's the transport of a lot of industrial like goods. There, when you look at like a tower construction, this happens for a period of like all like 12 months in a year. But then a particular construction, there is a particular time window, and it happens within like that time period. Today we are talking about 5G network going to come up like electrical poles. Each electric pole can actually host like a network, and that's where we will get into the 6G and above, right? The technologies where there the drones are going to, the robots are going to do all the installation. So it is all aerial machine which will actually take everything is fit down. It can go and do like the installations. So it's a very different I would say man machine interface in a ubiquitous world that we are all
Evolving together.
Yes, evolving.
How this our industry, typically a logistics service provider, or maybe the e-commerce centric logistics service providers, and this industry as a whole reacting to this technology and this change?
Right. So they are definitely the e-commerce and the logistics, they are a little bit waiting on the regulatory side to be very clear, so that they can. But many players have started the pilot activities, and the first level of the whoever is actually doing at an early stage and really getting all those learnings, definitely are going to be the first adapter of like these technologies. And when the time comes,
First
when
mover advantage, who can take?
yes, they're definitely going to take. So for example, today the civil aviation norms have said up to a 500 kilo flying object is allowed in the sky, particularly these drone segment.
500 kg.
500 kg.
And we are geared up for producing this level of a payload
Yes.
drone.
Yes. 100%. So something which have been like been worked out, and that is now it is about the beyond visual line of sight. How far can we go, and the regulation, that is all in the discussion phase. Once these are regulations are lifted up, then a lot of the early adapter of these technologies, the industries, are going to leapfrog. They are the ones who are going to actually make like massive. And all of a sudden, you will see that there's the industries who actually have the right kind of knowledge in the logistic domain are going to
move ahead.
Yes, move ahead, and they will. For them, it will make a lot of because the economies of scale are going to be very different with like these.
So if you take the example and medium term, or maybe the short term,
right?
Medium term rather, I would call 2020, 2030.
Right.
How do you look at, the drone as an industry, drone logistics as an industry? Is India is going to be a manufacturing hub,
right,
of producing the the drone for the rest of the world, for the India's need?
Yeah, that is what by 2030 I see India would contribute, because of the kind of fundamental work that Indian industries are like doing. They will definitely create those differences in the particularly Europe right now. The entire Europe is definitely looking at India as a country to take this technology, to import like these technologies and build also the technology like together. So it is going to be definitely, India is transforming itself in it's a export oriented like becoming export oriented nation, and drone is going to contribute to our GDP, definitely. And when I look at like logistics drone, I see it as not just the the logistic drones, but the drone segment. I see that 2022 to 2030, I believe it's a $2 billion to $13 or $15 billion market.
So $15 billion as a drone industry,
Right.
or within this drone logistics.
Drone logistics.
Drone logistics alone itself.
Alone itself are going to be like this at a IRR of around 30%.
30% year-on-year growth.
Right.
So I must say, for the people who are looking for their career to make in this drone logistics, the big potential is getting open. They need to adopt, they need to learn how this industry is shaping, how technology is changing the entire supply chain ecosystem, and the immense opportunities are getting open for the people who are looking for a career, and of course people who are looking for entrepreneurship in these areas. So drone as a service, drone as a manufacturing, or drone as a fleet asset leasing out, and a different variety of entrepreneurship opportunities are also getting open. Very exciting areas coming up. So next, let's talk about your personal level of growth, how things are happening in a BonV Aero.
Right.
And how are you shaping up your organization? Where is your vision going up?
Right. So BonV Aero started with 6 of our co-founders, and today we are more than 80 plus team members. We are soon going to cross the 100 mark, and it is most of us are almost 70-80% of our engineers, and we are deeply focusing on our in-house design, development, and manufacturing. And we are when we started like a journey, our journey, we started with like a garage.
You started with a garage only?
With a garage.
Which year?
This is 2021.
21.
Out of a garage which is in a forest area, and it is if I come out of the garage and I see the entire 200 kilometer is like a forest. Okay.
So you can fly everywhere.
I can fly everywhere. I can
do whatever you want.
Really like, and I was living also in the garage almost 6 to 8 months. Like we were in a garage, and we built out of that to we have come up right now with our manufacturing line. And then in Odisha, we are setting up a just this month itself, we have our chief minister had come and done a groundbreaking for a drone park. We are setting up a 300 crore drone park in Bhuvneshwar itself. Beautiful. In the city.
Good to hear that.
Thank you.
So you are building a very deep tech hardware technology actually.
Yep.
Right, which itself is very highly challenging. So what kind of a challenge you faced while building this tech, and is still facing?
So one is a lot in the resources area. You see here, when kind of a drone which is of 150-200 kg, I would say that there is hardly any engineer present today in India, even globally, who can do any kind of a algorithm change or a coding when the drone is in air. You have crores worth of machine which is flying in the air, and you will change a code, and you will require that to do. Definitely you may do 1,000 number of simulation runs. You may do n number of your ground all testing, but in air there will be times which
it has to be done on a real-time
basis. Doing that level of real time requires very different level of analytical thinking.
Yeah.
It is not your IQ alone, it is also your EQ. It requires immense amount of experience, expanded mind and knowledge, and real time understanding or awareness. I believe and I have faced, the entire industry is facing such challenge. Aerospace also as a whole, like industry, face that the talent related challenges. I must say that such talent are welcome to really come, and people should really think and start outgrowing. So India as a nation will really build like Israel.
Yes, absolutely.
Will build like really taking real challenges. We have not, as in, I always say that war teaches us a lot, because challenges are many.
So any disruption will bring something new.
Yeah, 100%. So that's, we have We have faced challenges in supply chain area.
So, I mean, you are building this organization based out of Bhuvneshwar.
Yeah.
Which is traditionally, little not, generally not adopted by the many of the people. People look for Bangalore or maybe
Right.
the,
You'll
different
not
start
have
of
like
countries.
a talent going to Bhubaneswar and working out.
Correct.
Right
So,
there.
is there any challenge you are facing, and what motivates you to remain there in a Bhubaneswar?
Right. I have seen basically the support of the whole ecosystem from the government landscape is actually happening at accelerated like phase, and uh, uh, I myself coming from the state, it's my own state, my home state, is where I really have that definitely the
That affection, love.
affection, love, and the soft corner towards to the state. But more than that, I see it is a place where a lot of the Chandipur testing facility, the ITR, the DRDO's testing facilities, the INS Chilika, the the Air Defense College, lot of technology establishments are like there. There's a, you must be surprised that lot of parts to ISRO comes from the Odisha.
Oh.
Because the fact that it is ISRO depends on a lot of precision metal like manufacturing. A lot of manufacturing hubs are based out like in Odisha, and these are some of the, again, when you are actually a startup and then you go through a accelerated like scaled up journey, you need quick rapid prototyping ability. The rapid prototyping requires agility, it requires quick time to change. Or so I believe adaptation in this particular our industries of drones, this particular thing in the tier 1 cities are like a challenge.
As you mentioned, real time changes in the coding and real time changes in the founder's mindset is also needed.
Yes. 100%. Yeah,
absolutely. So when we can see the entire drone centric network, like different airports are there, people understand how this drone centric network of logistics we can see in the future.
Right.
How do you visualize?
I visualize it as the first level of change are all going to happen the declaration of airspaces. National airspace are going to come, testing corridors are going to come. That becomes the first step where these systems you see are flying on a network. Like I am not going to be very surprised for us to actually see that there are times to come in a few years down the line, we will have an airport where the drones and the general aircrafts are like operating together. There is a digital infra which will enable both of them to happen. Otherwise,
so that symmetry is possible.
Yes, very well, very much possible. It is already happening around the world at like places, but it is will happen like in India, and these are the markers that will enable us to have like a networked architecture where we will see that the airspace is fully ready, equipped to take all these machines to go in and out like in the air.
Okay, so we had a very wonderful session. What is your message for the people who are attending and watching this Logistics Shakti podcast and Logistics Shakti different initiatives? So what is your message how Logistics Shakti can contribute these kind of changes?
Right. I see that Logistics Shakti is a platform, and the platform is enabling a lot of the ecosystem is sometimes get built by the platform, and the platform is enabling a lot of players to interact like with each other. Like Logistics Shakti wouldn't have been there, we wouldn't have actually been sitting and like meeting and talking to each other. This is the right platform for us to interact, to work together, to network and really scale. And Logistics Shakti is actually bringing a lot of even like tech-oriented companies are also the companies which are working in a legacy like manner.
So we're coming together and trying to
updating
collaborate.
Yes, collaborating with each other and actually bringing
collaborating, celebrating, and transforming.
Of course, that's
a real motive of Logistics Shakti.
Yes, and this is where I see Logistics Shakti is really helping. Like companies like us are going to be in front of all the logistic player and are able to showcase and demonstrate it is all because of the platform effect, the Logistics Shakti. And my message to the audience is definitely entrepreneurship is challenging, but it is equally rewarding as well. So
Absolutely.
it is a very like different journey. You must enjoy each and like every phase of your like journey, and it is at the end you are able to generate employment. You are
That's most important and critical.
most important, critical for the nation.
Yeah.
We are in the process of really nation building, and we are integral part of the nation. We are really building our future workforce, making them really ready. So uh, there are a lot of areas where drone technology can be, you can start your own company in areas which are even in my mind are untapped. There are
Absolutely.
lot of gray areas, and every of your idea can be uniquely executed. It is not the idea which is, it is the executional ability which is going to like uh,
Most
you know
important.
make you different.
So thank you very much, Satya. Wish you all great luck from entire fraternity of logistics industry. You must keep on growing and serving the nation. Thank you very much for making this time possible for Logistics Shakti podcast channel. We'll continue to keep interacting and bring you more and more innovative things to our audience and the viewers. So viewers, if you are watching this entire episode you have watched, is still there with us, please do subscribe Logistics Shakti podcast channel. And if you really like it, our contents, please do share with your friends so they can also get enriched by your learning and our combined learning. Thank you very much.